Spider-Man's worst day ever started with a man called Rabin paying him and MJ a visit wanting to kill Spider-Man as a sacrifice for his god. And after a fight between the two, Rabin teleports Pete and MJ into a different dimension where they fought random creatures for days until they ran into a guy called Paul, who explained that he and Rabin were trying to unlock quantum powers before they ended up here, where Rabin went insane on a mission to sacrifice Spider-Man for a god called Wayup. Peter quickly helped Paul finish a device that's able to get one of them back home, as Wayup then shows up trying to kill him. Paul tells Peter to use the device and go home so that Wayup cannot complete the ritual and conquer other dimensions, but Pete refuses, expressing that he's gonna use the device to send MJ home. But as Wayup rips into Spidey, MJ uses the device on Pete and opens a portal that sends Pete home and cuts Wayup in half, causing an explosion back on Earth. Pete quickly rushes home to try and rescue MJ, where he then realizes that only hours had passed for the weeks they stayed on that dimension, meaning that time there passes way faster. So he put on his suit to find Reed Richards, only to get confronted by Ben and Johnny, who he explains the situation to, telling them he can't wait, which they told him he needs to because Reed isn't here. He therefore went out in his civilian clothes and ends up running into Cap, who wanted him to explain the explosion from earlier to the authorities, only for Pete to smash his head in with his shield. And so with no other option, he asks Norman Osborn to help him and craft a suit that will enable him to travel dimensions with the help of the mini fusion reactor that he had to steal from the Fantastic Four. Pete eventually goes back to that dimension and coincidentally pushes Rabin away, causing him to get killed with his own blade. He then turns back to MJ trying to kiss her, only for her to stop him and show him her two kids with Paul. She explained to him how she and Paul stayed here for 4 years trying whatever to survive and eventually found two lost kids that they basically adopted, which ultimately made them get together to raise them. Pete nevertheless brought them all home, with MJ apologizing for not being able to be with him any longer, as he then walks outside to see the Fantastic Four waiting to confront him about what he stole.